Welcome back to Land the House. So for those of you who don't know, I work at 2 group homes and a day program for adults with developmental disability. And I'm kind of the unofficial handyman around work. So today I've got some tasks to do. I need to caulk some windows, install a shower head, fix a rusted sink drain, replace a faucet outside where the handle has come off, reinstall a plate, and fix a window lock that has become broken, and also install some fluorescent lights, put the cover back on. So should be a fun morning. Let's get started. Well, it's Saturday afternoon. I actually just took Emma to the grocery store to pick up some food items for supper. And I'm sure you're aware there are some pretty serious and nasty storms hitting the United States right now. And Irma is actually about to hit. So we're expecting lots of rain here. And what I want to do is make sure I get this trough cleaned out so that the water that comes down the road will be able to drain properly. Well, that should do it. Got it pretty well cleaned out here. As you can see, just runs it off down here to the ditch, and that should take care of the majority of the water that comes down from here. Now my neighbors up around the corner, they've got a little spot right about there that cuts off and helps a little bit, but this right here really saves a lot of problems with erosion on further down the road. Well, Ashley's back with Emma, so I'm gonna load up these tools back in the house and go spend some family time. Yeah, I decided to pull the carburetor off and give it a really good spray down with that carb cleaner. I also put in some more sea foam, and guess what? The mower is back. So I'm guessing I must have just not sprayed something well enough last time, but it seems to be doing a really good job now. So that means tomorrow I've got to tackle all of that, and then around the corner over there is really thick. Well, after cleaning the carburetor in the mower, I was able to mow down here and over there, and it worked out pretty good. But it wasn't cutting very well still, and so I decided to look at the blade, and how embarrassing. So let me show you what we're working with here. This thing has not been touched in 3 years, so it looks so bad. Focus. Look at that. It's just a mangled mess. It's basically dull. So I'm going to pull that off here with socket set and get that thing sharpened. So in case it's not completely obvious, this is the first mower I've ever owned, and I have not taken very good care of it. I definitely would like to improve that. Ooh, nailed it. Okay. Because I'm going to be getting a bigger mower here pretty soon for the upcoming ATV that should be here tomorrow. And so anyway, I definitely am going to want to keep good care of that because it's going to be expensive. I wonder if this turns clockwise or counterclockwise. Let's find out. I think I was supposed to unplug the spark plug before I started this, but I forgot. Crunch. It's interesting that the hump has part of the blade on it too, That's not as bad dented up, but it's definitely not sharp. So I don't have a vise because I really don't have a work table yet, but I can use some clamps and just get this on the table. Actually, I'm gonna pull it out a little bit more. I figured this would just hold it on here well enough to get some sharpening done. Yeah. I also don't have a very good grinder. My dad's got two, but I'm not going over there anytime soon. So I've got just the Dremel. I'm going to try and hit that edge and get it cleaned up a bit. Any sharpening I do is better than it is right now. Okay, well that is a lot better than it was. A lot less nicked up. Definitely gonna have to use a better machine than the Dremel to get that really nice and sharp. And of course I probably could just buy a new blade. But as far as balancing goes, let's flip this around. It's kind of hard to tell. You know, it's definitely got some weight over there. Or is it just how it's placed on the screw? I don't know. Yeah, I definitely think it's heavier over there. Not entirely sure how to solve that, besides just take more off. But with the Dremel, that's going to be difficult, so I may just leave it where it is. Definitely not the best blade left. Here we are under the house again, as I've shown several times. But this time it's different. I used a PVC nipple there to attach the two filters together, and I broke it because I had that too tight, and actually it's got to go to work. So I'm just gonna reattach like it used to be so she can shower, and then I have to get that pipe nipple out of there somehow. So that's gonna be a fun adventure. Okay, with the limited tools that I have, the only thing I could really think of was to use a hacksaw and just cut a couple pieces out. And what I wound up doing was cutting some diagonals, and that was able to pop that loose. So now it's just a matter of unscrewing it now that it's loose enough to pull it out of there. And I'm hoping there's not much damage to the piece itself here. A little bit up top here, but all in all, not bad. Well, I started this project of changing the filter at about 11, and it's 2:30 now, and it's done. Man, it took forever. So, just received a phone call, and my Polaris four-wheeler is on the way. Should be here in less than an hour, so very exciting. I just contacted Shelter Logic, basically a shed-in-a-box company, and asked if they would be interested in doing basically a sample for videos. So we'll see if they respond to that. If not, I'm probably just going to buy one anyway to store the ATV in, because I want to have this thing as long as I possibly can. A friend of mine gave me this wheelbarrow, and it's been really good, but I noticed that when it's loaded down pretty heavy, the wheel rubs against the tub here, and that's not good. So I thought, and the reason for that is that this wheel will go in, and so will this one, and it's just really close tolerance in there. So I noticed that if I were to put a spacer in here, it would give it more room. And so that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if it's not quite a 1/2 inch, I'll measure it, but a 3/4 inch pipe ought to do the job quite well. So let me measure that real quick. Let's see, there you are. And see what we need to get this to fit a little better. Yeah, 1/2 inch would be perfect. Let me do that real quick. I think I'm going to go just shy of 1/2 inch here. So just right about there. Don't need much. I better cut these separate because it's going to be different for the next cut. Alright, that should do it. A little tolerance in there, but not too bad. So I need to get these pins pulled back. Hopefully won't be too difficult. Oh, let go, would ya? Yeah, stubborn. Okay, just had to use my persuasion tool a little bit. Got it off of there. Yarg. Wonder if it's better to have that one that way or if that way. I don't guess it matters. Let's just do it this way. Cool. Not exactly sure why they have such a tolerance in there. Put this washer back on here. Get this through here. So hopefully I can just tap this back in and it'll be fine. Oh yeah. Nice, much better. The tolerance there on both of these is about a 1/2 inch or better. And that will allow me to hold some heavier things in here and not worry about it rubbing against the tub. So good, easy fix. If you go maybe in front of the car there, it'd be good. In front of the car? Yeah. Yeah, this one. Okay. I didn't know if you were going to test it out. I probably will here in a bit. I'm super excited. Delivery guy was nice. I think I may have a new subscriber on the channel. So it's raining and I don't want to get my camera wet, but I'm gonna take this and park it in front of the car here, and that way I can go out here just a bit. But when it stops raining, we will explore this thing a lot better. Well, probably no ATV time today. The Hurricane Irma has made its way up here, and there's a pretty significant amount of wind and rain for 2 days now. So I'm thinking probably no good four-wheeler time. Well, it finally stopped raining at about 9 o'clock. It's about 9:20 now. And so let's go for a nighttime ride on the new ATV. So tomorrow it's supposed to be reasonably rain-free. So hopefully we'll get a good look at this. I just want to see what it's like to drive it here at night. So let's see what we got here. That's fun. Good Wednesday morning. It is not raining for the first time in 2 days. So it's time to take the Polaris out. Just put the chainsaw on because we've got our first real use for the machine here. Thought I would go down the road. There was a tree that fell over during the Irma hurricane mess that just hit, and it's halfway in the road, so I thought we would drive down. That is, if my neighbor hasn't taken care of it. It's always hard to beat him to projects like that. So let's hop on and go do some work. I like the single lever brake pretty good over here. That's really awesome. And then as always, gas over here. Looks like my neighbor's already been up with his machine and pushed the log out of the way, so just missed it. Oh well, let's keep riding. Well, my neighbor is definitely known for getting stuff done around the neighborhood. So, it's a pretty impressive beast here. I've got 2 miles on it now. The seat is very comfortable, and I like it a lot. So I'll do a more in-depth video later on just the whole machine, and maybe you'll have some great pointers and tips for longevity, maintenance, and all that good stuff. So yeah, very impressed. We had 2 solid days of rain, so it's just now having the first good dry day in a while, and the grass seed is beginning to grow. I'm hoping that not too much of it washed down the hill. So let's step up over here and see what we can see here. I don't see much of that growing. There's some right in there. But it looks like the coverage is still good up the hill. So after this past couple days of rain, I expect the next 2 days or so to be a pretty serious grass growing time. So, and I can actually see a little bit of a green haze up in there. So it is working out. That's good news. Well, I just took the Polaris out for a 2-mile ride. The break-in period said you're not supposed to go very fast, and you're supposed to basically warm it up and then let it cool off for the first, it's like 25 hours or 20 hours, something like that. So it's a bit. Well, Ashley is on her way back from town with Emma. We're going to make some spaghetti and probably watch some Office. We're almost done with that show. It's been fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and close up the workshop and get some family time in. I just finished a review on the paint sprayer. Worked out pretty good. I think the results are alright, so not too bad. But thank you so much for being part of this week's vlog. It's been a fun week for me. I hope you've also enjoyed it. So stay cool, and I will see you next week for another exciting video. Bye.